Hi, everyone. My name is Poonam Goyle. I'm a senior U.S. retail and e-commerce analyst at Bloomberg Intelligence. When I look at the sports calendar this year, I was pleasantly surprised how packed it was. We're going to be starting off with the Winter Olympics, which have just kicked off, moving right into the Super Bowl. And then we also have the FIFA World Cup, Wimbledon, the Stanley Cup, and just many, many more this year. So what does all this mean for sports? And what does it mean for the retailers that I cover? How will it help them? How does it help them reach out to more consumers and broaden their own angle?
Hi everyone, sorry for interrupting, but I'm Jeremy. I'm the producer for Bloomberg Intelligence's YouTube channel. And I just want to bring you a message as these videos are brought to you by an amazing in-house team right here at Bloomberg. We really believe in bringing you the insights needed to help you understand the finance world. And to help us carry on doing that, subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing really helps us out a lot. All right, with the admin out of the way, let's get you back to the content.
So when we think about the sporting events calendar, and I want to start with the Super Bowl because I think it is a marquee event, especially here in the US, which garners a lot of eyeballs. More than 127 million people come out to watch the Super Bowl from their homes. And it's not just for the football fans, it's for everyone. People who maybe have never watched it before, or those who come out to watch it with their significant others, their families. It's an event. This helps leisure brands because when they show their prominence on the field and in the world of sports, they gain visibility. When I think about who shines most in an event like the Super Bowl, Nike is top of mind. Nike has been the key sponsor for NFL uniforms since 2012. So they've been doing it for over a decade and they'll continue to through 2038. That is when they have their contract until. What does this mean? It means every year that you've been watching the Super Bowl since 2012, you have seen a Nike swoosh on that uniform. It shows Nike as a dominant player when it comes to sports, and it gives Nike eyeballs that it would have never had should it have not been the sponsor. So Nike's biggest advantage in the Super Bowl is definitely that it has the uniforms. And yes, it doesn't have one of the key players like Adidas has had for the last 4 out of 5 years, where I had Patrick Mahomes from the Kansas City Chiefs. But that doesn't matter because Nike has year after year shown its swoosh to its fans, to its audience, and to younger and older generations alike. Now, once you have brand visibility, you can use that in your favor to attract folks to your brand through drops that come around a lot of these sporting events, and also through innovation, whether it's through social media, whether it's through your own direct brand website, your own stores, or even through advertisements. These events are used to highlight product newness, to highlight the brand, and really gain customer attention. Nike this year isn't sponsoring an ad during the Super Bowl. Ads are expensive, and Nike has taken the opportunity to not use the ad, but to use social platforms, to use its own direct website, and to use its sponsorship of the uniforms to gain visibility. In fact, just by being on the uniforms, that swoosh, Nike is said to have garnered over $394 million of ad dollars. So it didn't have to pay for any of that just because it's on the uniforms. That is the value that industry experts have equated to the amount of advertising dollars that it has gained for itself. And we think one of the primary reasons that Nike can shine through all of this is because of the brand appeal and the staying power that it has. When I think about Nike and I think about where Nike is today, Nike is the #1 leading sportswear brand in the world. Adidas comes in second. And if I was to look at third-party estimates, Nike has about a low teens penetration in global sportswear. Adidas follows at about a high single-digit penetration. So there is a gap, and that gap has been maintained for several years. While Nike has had its struggles in recent years, we think that's all changing this year. the sports calendar helps Nike do just that. Super Bowl is just the beginning. And we think there are so many more events that will be happening this year that will help Nike position itself for success. Let's talk a little bit about the Winter Olympics. They have just started, and this is really a time for the brands to showcase their teams, to showcase their innovation, and to bring products forward, whether it's winter apparel, training gear, whatever it may be. When you see these athletes competing for their respective teams and the teams that are being sponsored by these key brands, you're bringing visibility forefront to those brands. And that's a key win for all the brands, not just Nike. And we think Nike obviously is more advantageous in the situation because it does sponsor more of the teams in many of these events, and therefore it has a larger chance of having more mind share and wallet share from these sporting events. So we talked a lot about Nike. Let's talk about the second largest brand in the world, Adidas. Where does Adidas stand in all of this? My opinion is that Adidas will continue to maintain its wallet share. Even though it doesn't have Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl this year, it still is a key brand and it will offer its product drops around the sporting events. And Adidas has done a remarkable job in some of its key franchises, especially lifestyle franchises, and we expect that to continue. As we move forward, Adidas does shine. While it doesn't have the Super Bowl, it does have the FIFA World Cup. It is the key sponsor for that, and therefore we think it does have the opportunity to continue to show its sports fans and users alike. This is a global event. When we talk about the World Cup, it is an event that is widely watched by people all around the world, and we think Adidas has an advantage here because they can use that ball, the game ball that is Adidas, to really bring visibility to their brand and to shoppers and consumers of all ages and all demographics around the globe. And that's not all. There are clearly a lot more events taking place. March Madness, as we said, Wimbledon, along with others. These are opportunities for these brands to really bring forward the unique propositions that they each have in the world of sports, whether it's apparel, whether it's fitness gear, whether it's footwear. It is their opportunity to drop new product. What we find in these sporting years is that is when innovation is at its peak. 2026, we expect no different. We expect brands, whether it's Puma, Adidas, Nike, or even some of the other brands, we expect innovation to be at full peak, and for these brands to make product drops around these events to really grab attention from their shoppers. We've talked a lot about the largest players in sportswear, Nike, Adidas, and then we also talked a little bit about Puma. But as I mentioned earlier, the competition is growing. Sports brands from all over the world are trying to claim their stake in this growing pie, whether you're talking about an Anta Sports, whether it's On, whether it's Hoka, even Lululemon, and some of the athleisure apparel brands. Everyone wants a piece of this growing pie, and we think they all will use these sporting events as a catalyst to showcase new product. And we've already started to see it, right? If you start to look at just the new drops in the store and the new franchises that have come out, we are seeing good product reception to many of them. I'd say for me, Nike still stands out as a leader. I think this is a key year for Nike. They've started to improve their performance in North America, and we think that 2026 will be their opportunity to continue to show that improvement and head towards positive territory. So all in all, I'd just like to remind everyone that having such a full and packed sports calendar is not only great for the audience. We all love to watch the game and really have more things to do, right? But at the end of the day, the brands that are sponsoring these teams, the kits, the uniforms, and the players, they have an opportunity to come out and show what they have to offer to their consumers to really get a piece of their wallet and drive sales.